Good day, paper engineers in training. This is Michael, the paper engineer. Now, this is tutorial number 7. I better write that down somewhere so I don't forget it. Tutorial number 7 on the concept tank build for Warhammer. Okay, now what this part is, a couple different things. First off, the last one you saw me putting these chassis pieces together. Okay, now this is what you need to do, is top and bottom. You've got to take and put them, and you have to put these onto each piece. Okay, now they have to be strong enough so that you can move things around. All right, but these are gussets in here. You can see them in between this ribbing. Now this is superstructure. All right, this is what builds your foundation for whatever you're making. These cross pieces, and I had to cut them down to get them to fit right, but that is okay because you can add, as you can see here, I added these pieces in to make it level across here. Plus that gives you extra strength gluing to each side. Now the thing with this is I have to build a blade on the front of here, so I can't close this in yet. And so, but I wanted to show you at that point, this is the superstructure of anything you build. Doesn't matter if it's a plane, train, boat, doesn't matter. All right, you have to have this kind of a structure inside it to give it the strength. Now, as you guys know, I've been working on gun barrels for this. These gun barrels, as you can see, are coming along nicely. All right, this pin that I put through here and put these hooks on, okay, I want the barrels to be able to go up and down and never wear out. Okay, so odd thing, a dental assistant friend of ours gave us a whole bunch of these things from the dentist office that they were throwing out. Now these are plastic tubes. Okay, this is the same type of design that I used on the Abrams tank. Okay, this one is different though. As you can see what I've done here, okay, versus here. All right, reason being is now this will fit onto these pins. So when I take and fill this with Elmer's glue and toilet paper, or you know, a Kleenex or anything, what happens is when that dries, it welds the paper and this plastic to these pins so they cannot get out. It's got to be done twice, this side and when this goes on. Now I got a gift from Trip. Trip sent me a pin vise and some little bitty drill bits. Okay, that is what I am using to drill these out so that I can put the heavy duty paper clips in here. And now this is what point am I at right now? I wanted to show you guys something, how I put this pin in here. I got it drilled. All right, now where is that other piece? Aha, there it is, right there. I know that for this distance it has to be right about here in these jaws. Okay, because now what happens is that going to go through there? Ooh, that's barely going to go through there, so I need to add a little bit more to that. Now that is correct. Bent here and bent there. All right, see, now what you've done is you've created this piece here. Now this piece goes in here like so. And then that is squeezed down like that. All right, adds detail, and it also gives you something to attach to. Now, these go together like this. These two are bent towards me. That means I need to bend these two away from me. That way, when I glue them together, they are apart from each other, and it doesn't make a weak structure. Yo, darn it, it slipped. Okay, now, there is that. Now what happens is when these, oops, I have yet to do something. I need to cut it rather than try and cut it off. If I try to cut it off, it'll just go somewhere, zoom. So what I'm going to do is this. Okay, that is a much easier way of doing it. These Dremel tools come in so handy. And oh, I gotta put this back on there. We need this cutting bit. Now you just saw me cut metal with it. That's what these cutting bits are all about. Okay, so now at this point, I have to have this. All right, now what I have done is we now have two parts of this piece. They go together like this. Okay, now with the Elmer's glue and the toilet paper in there, what happens is, this has got to go the other way. And you can't mix these up, you guys, because here's the problem: is if you mess these up, and when you're gluing this together like this, if you do not have a left and a right side built, and you get confused as to which one is which, oh man, what happens is you end up with two left side sets of guns instead of a left and a right. And I have done that before, so I know what I'm talking about when it comes to this. Now, that has to go backwards a ways. All right, so when I was talking to you doing this, I was also looking at the distances on my barrels. All right, these have to match up really well to look right. So that means you have to tweak these pieces so that when you put these together, the ends of the barrels match. Okay, now those match up extremely well. And as you can see, when I take this off of here, they are bent. All right, and the reason they're, it's hard to see. It's hard to see, yeah. Anyway, they're bent, these down, these up. That way, when you start bondoing all this together, making this into a solid cement piece, they look correct, like they're factory made. Now, you might ask what I'm doing with this. Okay, I'll show you how I did this. Take the caps off. Whoa, don't lose it, need that cap. I'm using this same cutting bit. All right, because what it does is, at high speed, it burns the plastic out. All right, this is what you're getting. Now, it may be rather difficult to understand how this is going to work, but I'll show you right now. All right, I have got, where did I put it? Oh, right here. Okay, this is a bamboo chopstick. I need to take these caps All right, now this is the cap that goes in here. Well, I know for a fact that this is a very good mechanical joint this way. Now, basically what I'm doing is I'm putting these caps inside the turret. These pieces here will push into these caps. So when the guns are done and I'm ready to mount them into here, all I got to do is push them in place. That's how that's how complicated and how simple it is to make a turret with a gun barrel that goes up and down and never wears out. Because you know how toys wear out and pretty soon they go, okay? Well, these will not do that. You can manufacture these so that they always work. Now comes the time to show you how you get that to work. You take your drill and this micro drill, okay, I'll show you an easier way of doing this. You take a couple of these little blocks of wood and you set them down here, and then you take this and you then it goes right through. Here I was holding it trying not to drill my finger, and this is why you actually have to do that. And these don't have to be perfect, but the thing about it is you go to the outside, all right, the outside edges of these. Now these don't have to be perfect in any way. Okay, so now I'm going to put one piece here, two pieces here, and I'm going to go like this, and I'm going to put this onto here. All right, now what we want to do is we want to drill through this chopstick. Okay, so what I've done is I've created a couple holes, and now let's see. We need. What do we need? We need one of these here. Okay, come here, you. All right, need another one of these paper clips. Okay, so now I want this to do this. This to go through there, and I'm going to bend that and that. Okay, so I need this about that long. Okay. Aha, I think I screwed up. No, actually I did not. Okay, so that's about right. I added just a little tiny bit. Now, what I've got to do is I have to find this point, all right, where this other hole is. I have to grab a hold of this right on that edge of that. Okay, this is my distance that I've got. Now I want to turn this, okay? Grab it here and then reposition this so that I can actually bend this like so. All right, now what we've got is this here. Now with this here, you can go back through this, and it's a little too long. All right, now that's not a good thing. Okay. Now I rebent that, and I hope this fits. Okay. This is what I have right here. Okay, you need this type of build. Right. Now, this piece has to go through here. All right, now we've got this situation. Okay, see that, how that works? All right, now what that does is that locks this in place. Okay, so that when you have these and you push the guns onto here, it goes in like this, but it can still turn. All right, and you can still take them off of here. Now I'm wondering what I want to do with this. Okay, I am going to take this piece and I am going to just bend it down here like so. Okay, now I want to take this one and I want to bend it as well. Okay, now that's loose. See, I don't like the way this is loose, the way it wobbles, because you can't really tighten this stuff up. It's very hard. I have to put actually I can put a drift in here and put it on my vise, and I just happen to have one right here. Okay, now I'm going to try this. I got a little hammer somewhere. Where's my little hammer at? I know I got it. It's back here someplace. At least I think it is. Where's my hammer at? Ah, there it is. Found it, coach. Got it. Okay, now, what we got going on here is a drift. People may not know what that means. Okay, well, what it means is I'm going to hold this. I'm going to stick this piece, come here, you, down in here like this. I'm going to set it on my vise, and I'm going to try to tap on this and peen it over is kind of what I'm getting ready to do. And I don't know, this piece is too long, I think. It's not functioning the way I want it to. And so anyway, that's okay. Yeah, I've got to have a different way of doing this. That's not working. Anyway, you have to figure out how to get this tight. Now, there's such a thing as I can put a wedge behind here. All right, and the wedge will work also. Because once this is done and I've got both of these mounted onto here, then whatever odd areas there are, I'm going to go ahead and put cement around them, which is Elmer's glue and toilet paper. Basically, because when that dries, that fiber all glued together as a solid piece makes it indestructible. But you can't let it flop around. If it flops around, the application is not going to do you any good. Because then when you try to put these on, it's going to move around on you. So, and these are important parts to do this. So anyway, you guys, that is tutorial number 7. Welcome to my paper engineering classes on YT. Take care, everybody. I will show you more finished stuff in a little while.